Gary, what a day on Saturday. We've had plenty of memorable victories over the past few seasons, but to come up against an in-form opposition at home in front of our 2017 Premiership flag and the adoring Borough faithful, you must have been stoked to come home with a 33-point win over the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I was, Sam, and obviously it'd been a long time coming, of course, getting back to the home ground. Advantage of what we know this fortress can be, and obviously the unfurling of the flag, as you said, and just feeling that we're actually back at home, I think was a pretty special day as well, and obviously in the circumstances of Bob Bonnet as well. So to have some of our ex-champs back here too, and obviously Toby and Sam and Chris and the likes of Johnny Baird and Adrian Bonadeo. So from a Port Melbourne point of view, it was just a great day all round. We had to obviously play our part, which was beating a good side in Footscray. And I think the game unfolded very much that our intent and our combative style was very much there for the whole 4 quarters. But I think in the first quarter we didn't get enough bang for our buck in how we moved the ball, especially in our forward half. And Footscray were able to intercept mark and then cut a bit of a path through us at times. But from the second quarter on, I was extremely pleased with how we changed the momentum of the game, and of course without probably giving away a couple of silly goals just prior to half time, I thought from quarter time on was certainly the better side.
It was a slog, heavy conditions underfoot, which often meant it was fundamentally based footy which was going to win the day. Was that something that was part of the planning entering the game, knowing that they obviously went in pretty tall as well?
Yeah, well, the height never worries us really, mate. Like, you'd certainly go back and look at a lot of our games against other opposition, and we're not a tall defensive unit, and of course obviously we back ourselves more often than not, and we just want to really concern ourselves with what we're doing and to continue to try and get that as good as it can possibly be. We refine a lot of things. We're always chasing obviously an effort that is very much a standard, but then of course it's the other things, and in games like what you said on Saturday, it is about being fundamentally based, but also too we want to play our way. The game opened up after half time. We certainly were able to use the ball better. I think our efficiency rate in the third quarter was outstanding really, and once we got deeper entries, I think it all came together, and to record a 33-point win against a side that had beaten Richmond the week before, it was pretty pleasing, and we got improved performances right across the board, and even our 5th debutant in Ethan Phillips came in, and the longer the game went, the better he went as well. So I think the team chemistry is there. It can obviously get better, but I certainly think that was a pretty vital 4 points to win on Saturday.
You mentioned Ethan Phillips. We just continue to find these promising kids, which is really a good sign. Ethan was holding up very well in a key defensive post, and it's obviously of utmost importance for us to continue exposing these youngsters to VFL footy, because that is hopefully going to hold us in good stead later in the year. Yeah,
well, and as you know better than most, we didn't recruit really that much over the summer, and of course it's important that these younger guys who have got some faith, I'd like to think, and confidence in our system can actually stand up and then come in, because they pretty much know how we want to play. It's just a case of being able to do that whether you're inexperienced or experienced. And it's the 5th player this year that we've used from a new point of view, as we said, and also too, I think it's also important that we also reward the guys that have, I guess, been on the peripheral a little bit. Those guys last year were the likes of Mac Rivette injured, Dylan Van Oonen injured, obviously Izzy Conway injured, Matty Arnott. So these guys have been able to step up too as well. So I think we've got a good combination of our strength in our group. But again, it's 1 week, so as a coach you never get too satisfied with what you're chasing, of course, until the very end.
And North Melbourne are next up at home again. We know they're a new team in the competition this year, and they've been a little bit up and down so far. What do you make of them as an opponent for our boys at this stage of the year?
Yeah, their form seems to be a little bit inconsistent, I think, Sam, as you already mentioned, and they've had a couple of good wins, and certainly we always respect what an AFL alignment can bring to the table, and just because we got the job done last week, that's done and dusted now. It'll be on another episode of Borough Classified, which will be in the history books by the end of this week, so we've just got to make sure that our focus turns very much to just trying to get some momentum, and the fact that we're back at home again, and these home games are so valuable to where we want to go, and we've got to be, and our aim always is to be a good side, but if you want to be a great side you've got to win your away games, and none more so this week, and this is the most important game at home obviously, and hopefully the momentum will continue.
Gary, thanks for your time as always on Borough TV. Well done on another good victory, and best of luck this week.
Good on you, Sam.